Hi, I'm Derek from Good Times Marine. I'm down in the South Island of New Zealand, just keeping off the grass here. We're surrounded by sheep all the way around, and we're here to see Steve Mclay. He's going to walk us through the factory of Mclay Boats. We're going to have a look at what goes together to produce these fantastic boats. Let's go in and meet Steve. There he is now. Steve.
Hey Derek, welcome to the home of Mclay Boats.
Thank you. I think I'm going to dodge the first sort of raindrops. It's about 8 degrees today, if not colder, so let's get inside.
A little cool, let's come inside. Righto Derek, this is where it all starts. We as a boat building company design all our own boats.
Okay.
We find that's a better way of doing it because of our many years experience on the water testing and know-how of shaping aluminium. We feel it's best that we do it ourselves, and that's why our boats are very unique compared to anything else that might be outside drawn. Also gives us the advantages. We can make small modifications for each model to suit the customer. So each boat, before it is cut out, comes to the CAD drawer, he checks the specs, makes any small changes that the customer wants. And this can be including likes of cutting out the sounder hole in the dash, various other things like that can be added, and then it's cut out as that model for that particular customer.
So you will entertain a customer wanting to make, say, to change some drawers under the seat or something along those lines. You would entertain something
Yes,
like that?
exactly. Particularly on the big boats, we do that sort of thing all the time to suit the customer requirements. So they're not stuck to a hard and fast design. Yes, the hull and the general shape has to stay the same, but custom bits on the inside isn't a problem.
Oh, that's really, really good to know. So basically from the computer screen here, the file is then agreed, set, and then sent out to the router?
Yes, here it's sent wireless down to the router, the other end of the workshop, and then it's straight into cutting it out, direct from the design here.
Well, we'll just hit Smoko, so we might head out and have a look at this router while the guys take a moment to have something to eat.
That sounds good. Okay Derek, so after it's been sent down to the machine here, it goes into the machine of the multicam cutter, which is a high-speed routing cutting machine. And then each sheet is cut out for the boat and put on a pallet, so effectively it's like a giant jigsaw puzzle. So all the parts here, right down to the intricate details like screw holes for the nav lights and the bungs, all done while it's flat sheet. And the bottoms and sides are shifted over to this side of the workshop ready for the rolling process. So yeah, fantastic way of cutting sheet, very accurate, within 0.2 of a millimetre every time. So, yeah.
So obviously the bottom sheets get rolled over here.
They do.
And then the whole lot will head across to a bay?
To a bay. One of the 9 boat builders will then start constructing that boat, and he'll do it all until the construction is finished before it moves on to the other departments.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, show us how, or you probably can't show us how it's rolled, because that's a trade secret, but you
well,
can show me the
that's
result.
right. I can show you the result of the rolled product. That's right. Yep.
Awesome. Okay.
Right.
We know when we're in New Zealand building boats when we've got sheep literally 10 metres from the shed here. So now this is a bottom sheet.
These are bottoms and sides. These are all ready for the rolling process.
Yep.
Rolling and pressing. It's a combination of. So that's we'll take you over and show you the finished result.
Okay. So then the sheep will run onto these rollers here, go through the machine.
That's right. Yes.
And then it'll come down to a finish. So this is
Yeah.
a finished bottom and a finished side.
Finished bottom here and finished sides underneath. You'll notice that this sheet clearly has on it 5083. We're one of the few companies that can actually press and roll 5083 without cracking it.
So up to what thickness?
We can do 4, 5 and 6.
Up to 6 mil?
Up to 6 mil. We can do those V pressings, which are act like a planing straight, the gull wing, the reverse chine as we call it, all in the one sheet. And most manufacturers weld some of those items on. We don't have to do any of that because we've worked out over many years practice how to roll the sheet and without weakening it in any way.
Well, they're pretty significant pressings or rolls, like
they are.
What you want to call them. Like that's a fairly decent dent into the sheet. And especially this part here as well, like that's a lot. So
exactly.
The theory that you're going to snap it by doing it is obviously out the window.
It is, in the way we do it. Now if you put that in a brake press and simply press them in, you'll snap it most times, if not every time. But the way we do it, it eliminates all that and still retains its strength.
Fantastic.
So yeah, very unique, the fact we're able to do that.
Well, let's see how that all comes together in the actual real deal over here.
Okay, righto Derek, now this is the early part of construction. It's what we call the shell. The bottoms have been welded together along with the sides, the front walkways and the transom.
Okay.
So it takes about a day to get from flat sheet floors, the sheets just pressed, up into this stage.
Okay.
And now it's just got the bearers tacked in, and he'll carry on from here over the coming days. Notice when the sheets are like this, you've got the steering cable holes, you've got your fuel filler, you've got your live bait tank drain, you've got your bungs with the screw holes. This big hole here is for the outboard pod. That all comes all cut and done before it gets folded, pressed up. One unique feature we've got here is we put our transoms 10 mils in from the back, from the hull plates, and this enables to get a very strong weld both inside and out on the transom. There's no grinding required to be done. It also gives that square edge of the hull, and as you know Derek, water always flows off a square edge rather than a ground rounded edge. So it's just one of the many unique little features.
Just a little bit faster.
A little bit faster, and the water leaves it a lot easier, and just one of the many features that make Mclay very unique compared to other boats around.
You can really see the pronounced shape of the rolling.
Yes, you can when it's up this way. That's right. Yeah.
And the way the gull wings were as well.
Yes,
so,
yes, the gull wing, the reverse chines.
Just looking at that side sheet, if we go and just refer to the mouldings you've put into here, you've got a bit of a curve in this sheet here, as well as the way the pressings are done. Have you got a theory behind why you need to put that in
very much so. These pressings here are designed to curve the sheet, and that gives it a lot of rigidity. And while we're putting a lot of heat welding inside and out, both up the top here and down on the chine line, it keeps the sides nice and straight. If you just had a straight panel, likelihood it would buckle a wee bit. Okay. So this keeps it very strong, looks very good, and yeah, just makes it that much stronger.
As well by stiffening up the hull?
Yeah, it does stiffen up the hull a little. Yeah, it's all part of making a very strong boat.
And also a good example of the engineering that goes into a Mclay.
Exactly, yes, yep.
Awesome.
These sides also 5083. Got the proof here that it's stamped in here, and all part of it.
It's all legit.
Yep. Yeah. Okay, so after the shell's done, Derek, you come over here, see this boat here, it now has the stringers in. You see the heavy plate on edge, as well as a heavy angle welded on top, fully stitch welded each side, so effectively it's welded all the way. Yep. Around 150 mil one side and then 150 the other. And then the fuel tank's in place, the tread plates, the first section of this floor is ready to be welded in, and you see the front floor's in, the bulkhead's in, so you'd see why the boats are so strong with that sort of a lot of structure in the underfloor, a lot of work in the underfloor.
Yeah. Impressive. So that space there will be for the kill tank?
This one's getting a kill tank, yes, yes, okay. So that's a space for that.
Yep. Very good.
Okay. As you can see, Derek, this boat has the floor welded in now. Okay. After the bearers and the big angles that are welded onto the bearers are done. One thing, the whole underfloor area is buoyancy, and it's air buoyancy. And we have been building boats for 32 years. We find that's the best way of doing the buoyancy. Underneath, because you've got no chance of any foam causing corrosion, which it can do and does do on some boats. And you'll see that the middle area is a fuel tank area, can have a kill tank in front of that, and to make up for the additional buoyancy required to meet the regulations, all these gunnels are going to be filled up with foam as well, and that one's right round to the anchor bay.
Okay. You can see how the floor really matches in beautifully with the gull wing through the
yes,
back here.
Yeah.
I'm assuming there's a bit of a fall in there to be able to allow water to run to the back of the boat.
Yeah.
You've got a fully welded floor to help the
That's
train.
right, falls back and then down into the bilge area. And when a floor's welded like this, it really locks the boat up solid.
Okay.
Very much more solid in comparison to a screwed, riveted, bolted in floor.
Okay.
That really locks it up and makes a much, much stronger boat.
The tube that's running through the angle through the keel line here?
Yeah, that is the drain for the underfloor buoyancy.
Okay.
In the case that you somehow did get water in the buoyancy, you're then able to get it out.
Okay, like condensation?
Yeah,
or
condensation, which you can do, particularly in our climate down here.
Sure.
And yeah, so that's just a way of being able to exit any moisture out of there.
So there's no dramas in getting a kill tank in the floor if you want to do that as an
No,
option?
if we come to this boat next door here, we have a good look at this one, Derek. It's got the plate sitting in place. You'll see the fuel tank lid's there, and there's a wee bit of a gap, and now the kill tank's up here. This will be a hinged kill tank with the seat on each side of it. So yes, kill tanks are possible to do, and still leave sufficient buoyancy with the gunnel buoyancy to meet the regulations required.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can see like the reverse chine pressing running right up through the front
Yes,
third of the
yeah,
hull
you
there,
can,
which
yeah.
will act like a spray chine in a
It
way.
does, yeah, that's right. Rather than the welding them on, they're rolled into the hull.
Yep, excellent.
Yeah.
So just with regards to the way they're constructed, is it a team of guys on each boat, or how do you put it together?
No, after the kit's cut out and rolled, one person, one boat, that way they take ownership of it. So we've got 9 boat builders building a boat at any one time. We've got here an 801, that's our standard biggest trailer boat we do. And this guy has constructed this right from start, and he's well on the way. Late this week he'll be finished the construction of this boat.
So a boat this size, how long do you reckon it will take?
The construction side will be 5-6 weeks,
Okay.
but some of our smaller models easily done in 2 weeks, just depending on the complexity of the boat and the size.
So once you've finished all this, and you've obviously got a few marks on this boat, are we around into cleaning bay, is that right?
Yeah, round into what we call the grinding, the buffing off, and getting them ready, prepared for painting and clear coating. We also don't weld all the handrails on until the buffing's done, because effectively they'll be in the way of getting your nice continuous buffing. So we do that in the bay next door.
Oh, well, let's have a look.
Yeah, okay. Righto, Derek. Now this is what we call the grinding and linishing bay, and after they are constructed, they come out here. The exterior welds get ground down. A lot of these welds are welded internally, so it's not weakening the product by grinding the exterior welds, and then they get into the buffing, depending on whether it's an unpainted or painted boat, or a combination of, depending how much buffing will be done. As you can see, this is an unpainted side. The guy's done the buffing already, makes a beautiful job of it, and it's interesting, the buffing finish, I think we're the only ones that do it, and we get an incredible lot of positive comments how people like that buff finish.
It's amazing because it sort of plays tricks on your eyes. You think the boat's actually got like pressings all the way through.
Yeah, you do, yeah.
And it's just the
way the buffing.
Yeah.
So this looks like it's going to be a painted top, so he won't have to buff all this.
Okay.
That'll get acid washed later. Once he's done here, then the guys just down the road here will TIG on these rails that are tacked on, and put on the additional rails and the bow rails and those sort of rails that would be in the road if we put them on now for the buffing.
Very good. Yeah, well, this is certainly one of a big part of the look of what a Mclay is.
It is, that's right. Yeah.
And, certainly the customers we've had come through, they really embrace it. And they like the idea of being just that raw finish. Now, you put a protective barrier over that though, don't you?
Yeah. In most cases, they get a Nylec coating, which is a well-accepted coating in the marine industry.
Is that like a clear coat?
Yeah, a clear coat.
It is like that?
Yeah, single pack clear coat.
Okay.
And very accepted in New Zealand, and becoming more so in Australia boating now as well, we noticed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
And with this buffing, the new way we're doing the graphics, they look really sharp, and we'll be able to show you
nice
further down the track.
Colour.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Cool. So we up to painting next?
Up to where they buff them on, put on the rails. Okay, at this bay, you'll see these rails are now all TIGged on.
Okay.
We prefer to TIG them rather than MIGging, because it just gives a lot better looking weld, really high quality. Cleats are put on, rod holders are welded in, and bow rails and so on are put on. And you'll see a guy in the background checking it over. We have quality control checks at various places. So before it goes now to the acid washing and the paint shop, it gets a thorough check over by 2 people. the painter does it, and then there's another guy does it. As you know, two eyes are better than one.
Yep.
And to try to make sure everything is right up to our standard before it goes any further than here.
Very good.
Yeah.
So I just noticed that's a good example of you pre-cutting a sounder and the holes to go.
That's right.
Is that done by the router, or you do that?
No, that's done by router. It's got your gauges, your sounder hole, your steering, your switch panel.
And even the little holes for the screws to hold the sounder.
That's right. So it's all done with the router. Saves a lot of time later.
Yeah.
So we are doing more and more pre-rigging and turnkey packages, because we can just do it far more economical than what the dealer can by having to manually cut that sort of thing later.
Yeah.
Hello Derek, you saw the rails getting tigged on and the final finishing and then the checking, quality checking. Now it moves on to the painting stage, but before that is this acid wash, and that not only makes the boat all one nice clean colour, it takes all the oils out of the alloy, and it makes it really good for the Mclay clear coat and the paint as a surface to stick to. So yeah,
pretty thorough process. He's getting into every nook and cranny there.
He is very thorough, do inside and out. We're probably one of the few manufacturers that do this process.
Okay.
But we find it just all part of having a great looking product and of a high quality.
So what sort of acid is it?
Oh, it's a hydrochloric and sulfuric acid.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then that's all blended with water, or it's just pure acid that's going on right now?
No, it is mixed with, diluted with water from the concentrate that we buy.
Yep.
And then this will be all hosed off in a few minutes.
So I've just seen that the cleaning getting done out here, we've wheeled the boat in.
Yep.
What's the next stage?
Okay, well, as you can feel by the heat rising rapidly, we're in the bake oven, and it's in here to first of all get dried, and then the Mclay to be applied, and then the painting of all the sides and top, if that's the specs of this boat. With us in painting, we do not cut corners. Painting's always been done in-house for us. That way we can control both the number of coats and the brands of paints and so on. We first of all etch prime and then put on 2 coats of primer, and that's done wet on wet, and we use the primer as a high build, and then leave it for or flash it off in the booth, leave it for a day, and then sand it the next day, get all any minor imperfections out. And then, as most boats are now metallic painted, 2 coats of base coat and then 2 or 3 coats of clear coat on top of that.
Wow.
And then bake it all off in this bake oven here that gets up to about 60 degrees.
That's a lot of covers, a lot of layers of paint, so there's a lot of protection there.
It is, yeah, that's right. And we find that looks good, and it looks really sharp, and not only do we do all that painting, and it generally looks very good straight off the gun, after a few days in the fitting shop, we always give them a light cut and polish to take out any little bits of marks or dust and give them that really nice shine. So.
Wow, so it's going to look like a mirror, which they do in our showroom. They look absolutely fantastic.
Yep.
So there you go. This boat's 6 metres. We've got acres of room in here. What's the biggest boat you'll fit in here?
We can get 11-metre boat in this booth.
Wow, that's
yeah, it's a big booth, and it's great being able to have plenty of room to walk around the booth. Yeah.
Well, let's go check out the fit-out bay and see how they look when it's over.
Righto, cool.
Together.
Let's go. Yep. Righto, Derek. As you can see, we're now into the finishing shop. This is where the boats come after they are nylaced and painted.
So basically through that door and just
through the door through here.
Yep.
And we got a team of guys who are very good at what they do, and they do everything from gluing the carpet in, fitting all the windows, all the various fittings, anchor winches if required, and sounders, radio, VHF radios, the lights, pretty much taking some of them right through to turnkey package, apart from putting the engine on, which is done in the tech area out the back. And as you can see, a variety of colours and colour choices and combinations of paint, part painted, some painted roofs, some haven't, and very much what the customer wants. And you see also we've got bell ladder. This is quite new and unique, a telescoping bell ladder for lake work, getting on from the front. And yeah, many options you'll see on the boats that are here at the moment, Derek.
So pretty much anything other than metal work gets done here. So all your metal work, welding's all done in that part. Painted, once it comes in here, it's windscreens.
Yes, once the painting's finished, it gets done here. That's right. Yeah. We do all our own upholstery in-house. We find that there's a lot of advantages in this. We can do a little bit of custom work as per customers want it. They could want a slightly different colour, provided it's one we use, or different patterns in the stripes that we put in the seats and so on. We also find by doing it in-house you get really good fit, because the boards are cut and it's all done in-house. If it's not right, we can fix it as we go through.
Drop it in, if it's not quite right,
we can alter it and fix it. Exactly, yeah. So we have.
This is a nice feel.
Yeah, it does give the nice feel, this black. You see here we have a full forward cabin made of 3 pieces around the outside and 2 centre squab pieces. So this is all custom made to fit a boat that's behind us. The idea of the 2 custom ones, sometimes some people like just to have one in, and also the boats that we put a toilet in the forward cabin, this one here covers it, and you can leave this one out, so you can still sit in here and have your feet down. So all done in-house.
Yeah, it's nice with that finish, I really like it. It's good. Alright, so we've come outside to say goodbye, but this has caught my eye. This has a really intriguing apparatus at the front. What's that for, and is this a recreational person? Or?
Yeah, no, this boat at this stage is built for a commercial. It's going to be building the contractor is going to be building a cycle track down near the lake, and he needs a boat to be able to push a barge to get gravel in and out to inaccessible areas. Oh. So it's our standard 591 Mclay boat, 5901 Sportsman. We've gone for heavier sides, 4mm sides, which we can do, and if you come around the front here, it's got this V-block that locks into the barge to be able to push the gravel barges up and down the lake. Huh. So this guy's going to use this boat and his contract for about 8 months or so. Then he'll bring it back to us, we'll knock off the V-block, put on normal bell rails, turn it into a normal boat and sell it as a used boat, but it still should be in good condition, because we'll tidy it all up and nylack it. Because at the moment,
an example of some of the bits and pieces you can do.
We can do, that's right, yeah. So it's got additional buoyancy in, just like we send in the Australian boats to meet the regulations for our survey. So yes, we can do the survey boats and standard boat with a few unique features on it. Yeah.
Well, I must say, the flexibility of the business to be able to accommodate projects like that is breathtaking, because normally when you see a business that produces a lot of boats every year, they're very, very strict and they don't want custom work to do. So.
Yeah. No, we can be flexible within reason. There's always a point where you say, hey, no, this is just too hard for a production boat builder, we can't do this. But we certainly try to accommodate as much as we can.
Well, the Raptor's probably a good one to tap in at the end as well. That's a boat that's showing extreme engineering brilliance in trying to create the barn doors or the wheels to slide up inside the boat. And
that's right.
As well, so.
Yeah, we've got one here in construction stage, but I haven't got a finished one to show you today, but we've got video online that you might have seen already.
I think we'll be doing another video on that boat just dedicated to that model very, very soon.
Yep.
No worries, Steve. Well, look, hey, thank you very much.
That's all right, very good.
It's been really exciting to see how these all come together.
Yeah.
And hopefully the viewers have got a good understanding of what it takes to build a great Mclay and why they're a boat with such a good reputation. Yeah, absolutely. And you've seen the size of the factory. This is purpose built. Been here 12 years now, and certainly haven't regretted coming here and spending a huge outlay to build this great factory that works so well for the way we build the boats. Fantastic. Yeah. No worries. Well, thank you for listening to me today, and we'll be back again with some more videos on Mclay Boats. Yep.